Good morning, everyone. This is Lynn Sugiyama speaking on behalf of the Arizona Buddhist Temple here in Phoenix, Arizona. Let's begin with the reading. This is the Aspiration Reading from the Jodo Wasan. All good acts and myriad practices, because they are performed with a sincere mind and aspiration, become, without exception, provisional good that will lead to birth in the Pure Land. Please join me in Gasho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Good morning, everyone. I want to thank you all for joining us here on this YouTube channel, Dharma in the Desert, and also on the Arizona Buddhist Temple Facebook webpage. And I feel very lucky that I am part of this new medium to give Dharma messages to the members of the Arizona Buddhist Temple and for those of you who are able to watch us from other places. And so I feel very fortunate that we're able to get the support from our membership and from the Arizona Buddhist Temple board members who are able to give us the opportunity to share our Dharma messages with all of you. You know, I've been very fortunate that we also have ministers' assistants like Michael Tang Sensei and Von Magnan Sensei. And so all of us together, along with Reverend Gibbs from the Pasadena Buddhist Temple, we're able to share our Dharma messages with everyone. And so I feel very fortunate that we have so many Dharma teachers that can help spread the Buddhist teachings to all of you who are listening. You know, the other day I was thinking about a very good friend of mine, Roy Mayhew Sensei, and he's from the Walnut Grove Buddhist Temple up in Northern California. And so he and I have been friends. We were training together for several years at the Institute of Buddhist Studies in Berkeley, California. And so I just wanted to share a story about he and I. And so back in November of 2012, I went to Japan with a group, including Roy Mayhew, and we went to Kyoto, Japan to get our Kyoshi Certification. And so the Kyoshi Certification is a certificate for those of us who went through training and were able to teach the Dharma to all the followers at the temple. And we're also able to perform special services like funerals or weddings. And so with Roy Mayhew, we were able to train together and earn our Kyoshi certification together. But unfortunately, Roy Mayhew, he passed away in 2017. And so he was a great Dharma teacher to so many people, including myself. And so in thinking about him, I just wanted to share a story that I had with him. So when we went to Kyoto, we were there for 10 days training at the Nishi Yamabetsuin in Kyoto. And so it was every day we practiced reading sutra. Every day we had to listen to lectures from the Buddhist scholars at Honganji. And so it was a great experience being able to train and to listen to all the Buddhist teachings. And on top of that, we're able to eat really good Japanese food there. So at the end of 10 days of training, we were able to earn our Kyoshi certificate, and all of us wanted to celebrate our accomplishments. And so there were a group of people. They went to a local bar in Kyoto with some other friends from Japan. But Roy said that he wanted to do something a little more quieter. And so he wanted to eat hamburger at a Japanese restaurant. And so he asked me and two other people to go to find a place that served hamburgers. And so we had heard about this restaurant over at the Kyoto train station. And so all of us, the four of us, we walked from the Honganji International Center, and we walked for like about half an hour to get to the Kyoto train station. And so when we got to the station, we asked about this hamburger restaurant. And so one of these people, he told us to go to the third floor where there was a bunch of restaurants at the station. And so when we got there to the third floor, we found out that this hamburger restaurant had permanently closed. And so we were unable to eat hamburger. So we were four very disappointed guys at this third floor restaurant area. And so we decided that we were go to this other restaurant where we were able to eat okonomiyaki. It's like this Japanese pancake that has lots of vegetables, cabbage, and they were able to add shrimp or beef or chicken to the okonomiyaki to eat. And so that was very delicious, and we really enjoyed our time together at this restaurant. And so for a couple of days, we were able to look around Kyoto and sightsee for a little bit. And so during that time, I took the opportunity to go to the Kyoto station to do some shopping for gifts for relatives and friends. And so when I was walking around the station, I was able to find a McDonald's restaurant there at the Kyoto train station. And so I went there and I got 4 cheeseburgers. And in thinking about Roy Mayhew, I got one of the cheeseburgers for him. And so when I walked back to the Honganji International Center, I was able to give the cheeseburgers to a couple of friends who wanted cheeseburgers, and also I gave one to my friend Roy Mayhew. And so he was so happy to get this cheeseburger. And so he said he ate it, and he said it was so delicious. So going back 1 year later, 2013 or 14, I was able to meet Roy Mayhew again at one of the Buddhist conferences that we had in California. And so he told me that he always remembers the time that I got the cheeseburger for him when we were in Kyoto, Japan. And so he said that it was a very special gift, great gift that he received, and that he learned about compassion and dana, which means selfless giving in Sanskrit. And so he remembered that time and he wanted to tell me about that. And so that story really, really made me happy. But I wanted to tell you that the things that I received from Roy Mayhew, those things were very special to me too. And that I wanted to share his story with you, in that he was a great speaker in conveying the Buddhist teachings. And although he passed away, he is still alive in my heart and mind. In Roy Mayhew's career, he was a lieutenant sheriff for Northern California, for the Sacramento area. And so I remember him telling me one day that when he was a sheriff, he saw many people who were violent against each other. And so he saw the hate that people gave to one another during times of heated argument or of violent confrontation. So in his life, Roy found the Buddhist temple, and he found comfort in the Buddhist teachings. And so that is how he became a Buddhist, and that's how he became a member of the Walnut Grove Buddhist Temple. And so he always enjoyed helping people, and he always tried to be kind and gentle to all the people he encountered. And so when he was able to make people happy, he was happy. And he always enjoyed talking to people and making feel people better. So he once told me that in order to get through this difficult life, we all needed to rely on others to make this life happy, to make this life worthwhile to live. So you cannot live this life all by yourself, to live this life all by yourself. And so this reminded me about the Buddhist teachings, that we all rely upon one another to learn the Buddhist teachings together and to learn about the Nembutsu, about Namo Amida Butsu. So earlier, I talked about this thing about dana, about selfless giving. And this is part of the 6 paramitas that we learned in Buddhism. And so to practice this true dana, to practice true selfless giving, is to give something to another person without expecting anything in return. And so it's easy to say, but it's very difficult to practice to give selflessly. And so I think in our hearts, we try to give selflessly, but in our mind, we always sometimes expect something in return. We want something reciprocal, that we want to have a reward for the good things that we do. So it's not true dana, true selfless giving, when we attach something to the things that we give to others. And so something, for example, is like Christmas. So I know we as Buddhists, you think we're not supposed to celebrate Christmas, but living here in America, Christmas has become at least a part of my life. So even when I was growing up as a little boy with my parents would give my sisters and I gifts for Christmas. And so even though Christmas is a Christian holiday, my mother and father always reminded us that we were Buddhists and that we are to celebrate Christmas as a time to give gifts to the people that we love, our family and friends. And so I know that sometimes during Christmas time, we give our gifts to family and friends, but sometimes we also expect gifts in return. And when we don't get gifts, we feel hurt. And so to practice this dana, to practice selfless giving, is very, very difficult. And so when I think about Von Sensei and Mako Sensei and Gibbs Sensei, we share the Buddhist teachings to all the members of the Buddhist temple and to those who come as visitors to our temple, and also to this Facebook webpage or on YouTube. And so when we share the Buddhist teachings, I know that I feel very proud and very honored that I'm able to give my Dharma messages to all of you. You know, in my reading of Shinran Shonin's Wasan, he said that to practice the good deeds, we should have a sincere mind of aspiration to give and to help others. And this means to good deeds while keeping the Buddhist teachings in our mind and in our heart. And so by doing this, we can transcend ourselves to become an enlightened person, just like the Shakyamuni Buddha, just like Amida Buddha. And so as Buddhists, to do good deeds is to bring great peace and bliss to others, and especially to those who need it most, like the poor and the suffering. So the Wasan, the verse means that when we practice these good virtues, we perfect our spiritual ability to help others and to transcend ourselves to become enlightened and to attain birth in the Pure Land. And so when I reflect upon Roy Sensei and with Vaughn Sensei, Michael Sensei, and Gibbs Sensei, we're all helping give the Dharma messages to the Sangha, to the temple membership. And together, we learn to practice the Dharma, the Buddhist teachings. So when we reflect upon what we practice, we attain the sincere mind and to aspire to be like the Buddha in the Pure Land. And that is to be with all of you too. And in listening and sharing the Dharma with others, all of us are able to attain birth in the Pure Land and become Buddhas. You know, Shinran Shonin once said that all of us, all the minister assistants, all the ministers, all the members of the Buddhist temple, we are all fellow Nimbutsu travelers. We all rely on Amida Buddha when we say Namo Amida Butsu. And we all walk the path of the Buddhist teachings. Through the Amida Buddha, we all walk the path to the Pure Land. And so I am very fortunate that we have so many members of the temple who come to temple, who practice the teachings, and they help me learn how to practice the Buddhist teachings through Namo Amida Butsu. So I encourage all of you to continue listening to the Buddhist teachings, and together we all follow on this path of Namo Amida Butsu, and all of us together, we will walk to the Pure Land together. So I want to thank you for listening. In closing, I want to again read Shinran Shonin's Wasan from the Hymns of the Pure Land. All good acts and myriad practices, because they are performed with a sincere mind and aspiration, become without exception provisional good that will lead to birth in the Pure Land. Please join in Gasho. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you so much for listening. Please take care. Please be safe and be healthy. Thank you.